Hi there. This is Les Kiger, the creator of Practice Yoga Simply, and I'm so honored to welcome you to your very first Practice Yoga Simply session. This session is going to be nice and easy. It's going to do a little bit of sun salutation flow and just get you introduced to this practice in a way that'll be nice and sustainable and accessible. So we want to start here by coming to the top of the mat, placing hands at heart center, and just set an intention for our practice. Maybe smooth out our energy flow or get energized for our day, whatever it is that's going to work well for you. Just take that intention and place it right between your hands and share it with your heart as we get ready to get started here. Now we'll begin by letting the hands come down, reaching up and grasping for the sky. Bringing hands to heart center, and getting into our first forward fold of the day, hinging at the hips, letting everything be nice and easy as we get started. Here you may or may not come all the way to your toes. You may want to let your hands rest on your shins if that works better for you. Whatever gets you nice and easy into your body. Good. Now we're going to lift up halfway. For me, this means bringing my hands up the shins and then coming to a straight back, reaching out through the crown chakra in the center of the head, trying to create a nice straight energetic line through the tailbone. You don't see that straight line so much here in my first one of the day, and yours may be the same, but we'll get warmed up and get into it. Release and fold all the way down, letting everything just hang, be nice and soft, letting the energy drain down through the feet and the toes. Now we'll inhale, spread the wingspan, rise with a flat back all the way up to standing. Come to just a little bit of a back bend here as we reach high for the sky, pulling down energy from the heavens, getting deep into the pose, and then hands to heart center again. We're taking a few breaths here just to let everything ease in, let the energy flow begin to go. We'll reach for the sky again, fingertips wide, really fully expressing every part of this pose from the fingertips down through the toes. Hands to head, heart center, waist, folding forward, hinging at the hips, coming all the way back into that nice nourishing forward fold again. If you like here, you can cross your hands, interweaving the hands with the elbows. Sometimes that's nice for letting everything release down a little bit more, getting a little bit more juiciness out of the pose. Inhale and come up and reach all the way for the sky. Holding that back bend, energizing, and then exhaling hands to heart center. Following the breath at your own pace here. You may get one breath, big breath per movement. You may get several breaths. Just following your pace on that breath and not worrying about anything else. Inhale and reach. As we move through these poses, remembering that intention that we set at the start of the practice and carrying that joyful energy all the way through with us to create the maximum openings possible, both mentally and physically. Folding forward and releasing again, letting everything hang nice and loose, letting the energy just drain down through our body and come up through our feet in a circle. Inhale to lift halfway, again looking for that flat back, looking to energize out through the crown of the head and reach back through the back of the tailbone. Now we're going to take hands to the mat on either side of the feet. We're going to step back into a high plank pose. We want the elbows stacked underneath the shoulders, stacked on top of the wrists, so we have a nice straight line down through there. We want to be energizing back through the heels, not letting us dump into the legs, but keeping nice and strong through the whole pose. Now lower down all the way to your belly, untuck the toes, lift up through the heart for Cobra pose. Holding here in this nice gentle back bend energizing through that back side of the body, keeping the legs engaged, pressing down through the tops of the feet into the mat. Now roll your toes under and push up again to that plank pose. And then I'm going to show you a quick variation for coming back up. You can go first to hands and knees and then roll into the plank pose. That may work better for your body if you have extra tightness or some sort of injury. Here in the plank, thinking about a long, straight, really powerful energy line from the heels all the way through the head. Now we'll come back into downward facing dog. You can see I like to use a little bit of a micro bend in the knees on my way back. That lets me get into my hamstrings without it feeling too forceful. Here we're pushing through all four corners of the hands, energetically lifting up through the tailbone towards the sky, staying nice and strong through the legs and pushing the heels down towards the mat. Coming up to the fingertips to create space for the legs to come through, and stepping up to the top of the mat, finding that halfway lift. Good. Keeping that nice, strong, engaged energy, even though we're taking it a little bit slow. Folding and releasing. Letting energy flow through the entire body. And then finally, widening our wings, lifting ourselves up, embracing the heavens, and hands back to heart center. Inhale and reach. Following your breath, exhale and fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, hands to mat. Step back for high plank. Staying engaged, elbows close to the center as we lower down all the way to the mat. Uncurling the toes. Pulling ourselves up to cobra. Exhale and push to plank. And again, I wanted to show you that variation if the push straight up into plank is too much or not working quite right for you. So when you're down here on the floor, you can simply push up to hands and knees, curl the toes, and then come up into plank and get that nice strong energy line. Now pushing to downward dog, you see how I use a really big bend in the legs as I come into that pose. That really helps me to get into my hamstrings, which tend to be very tight. Here we're thinking about a nice long line of energy from the hands up through the crown of the head, shooting out through the tailbone. Now stepping up to the top of the mat and lifting halfway. Releasing for our last forward fold of the sequence. Letting everything be nice and soft as we wind down here. Inhaling for our final reach. Really thinking about pulling down that energy from the heavens, flowing it through our whole body to energize ourselves for the rest of our day. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Standing here in mountain pose, Tadasana, just letting ourselves feel the energy flow, feel the new softnesses and supplenesses that we created, feel the openings that are going to take us so brilliantly through the rest of our day. And taking a moment to thank ourselves. So much gratitude for giving ourselves this time and this practice, and recognizing the benefits it's going to pay not only for us, but for everyone we interact with throughout the day and everything that we do. Thank you so much for joining me on this practice. I have so much gratitude to you and honor you for that. I look forward to practicing yoga simply with you tomorrow and every day. Namaste.